But yeah, I think regardless, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. Also, there was I made a video about it on my channel about an hour ago, but um, Miles Bridges from the Charlotte Hornets, the Lakers are interested in him. Now, if I'm being honest, I don't think the Lakers are going to be able to get him.
Yeah.
But he would be a
Why?
perfect compliment because he's a restricted free agent, and I don't think Charlotte's going to let him go. The only reason he's not signed is because the whole, domestic thing that he
Yeah.
did, and that whole thing, and yeah, he pled no contest, but usually what that means is he paid a bunch of money to have it go away, is what ended up happening.
So now when they're a restricted free agent, they can only go where the team so Charlotte in this case has to sign off on him going to obviously, but like they have to
Essentially, so
approve
like
him going to the Lakers.
what happens is like so Charlotte can match any salary
Okay.
that a team. So like say the Lakers offered him they don't have the salary space, but let's say the Lakers offered him $20 million a year.
Okay.
Charlotte could just go and match that, and then they get him. So, like for example, like what happened with DeAndre Ayton, right? The Pacers made him an offer. The Suns came in and just matched the offer. So, so the only way you'd be able to make that happen is via trade. And
well, not at that point, but even if they match the offer, does he still have the right to say, "Hey, mean, okay, got it."
Charlotte.
So as long as they match salaries,
Charlotte still has all of their rights. So all of his rights. So, so basically the only way it could happen is if the Lakers are able to trade for him. So
yeah,
ideally what would happen is the Lakers would trade trade Russ, and probably you'd have to give up both firsts, but Russ and both firsts for Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, and Miles Bridges. The reason why
I like that better than the Pacers do. I like that better than...
Well, and the reason Charlotte might do it is because they get off 150 million. So, your whole argument, because the problem is also if let's say Charlotte made Bridges available, there are teams that would trade for him, and the Lakers aren't going to be able to compete in a bidding war. We just don't have enough assets. So what is our one advantage? Our only advantage is we have the only player in the league that could clear your entire salary books. So let's say a team is willing to give 3 first-round picks for Bridges, right? Well, our offer is, hey, yes, you could take 3 firsts from this team. Let's say the Pacers, right? Let's say the Pacers we'll give you 3 first-round picks for Miles Bridges, right? Yes, you could do that, or you could take our deal, which is 2 firsts, and you're moving off of 150 million, which you still have to move off of sooner or later, right? So that's where our edge would be as far as a trade with the Hornets would go.
No, you're talking about move off the 150 with Russ, right? Because after they trade Russ, they can just
So what would happen is Russ would go to the Hornets, and then Bridges, and then we would get Bridges, Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier, and Terry Rozier has 4 years, 100 million, and Gordon Hayward has about I think it's just under 25 million a year for the next 2 years. Just talking about 150 million over the next 4 years total. So we would be clearing that off for them, and the reason we do it is because we get a 24-year-old, 3-and-D style player that averaged 20 points and 9 rebounds as the second or third option. So now he comes in, he'd be a perfect fit next to LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So there you go, you got that. And you'd also get Terry Rozier. So you could literally start all 3 of those guys. You could have a starting 5 of Terry Rozier at point guard, Gordon Hayward at shooting guard, Miles Bridges at small forward or power forward, whatever, and then LeBron at small forward or power forward, and then you have Anthony Davis at center.
You want to see Walker come off the bench for, I guess, Bridges, right?
Sorry, hang on, give me a second. Did I not? I don't have. Hang on, I need to.
The banner.
Keep talking. Keep talking for a second.
Okay. No, no,
Why
no.
do something real quick?
So pretty much, so we would need, so we have to bench Walker, which I don't know that I want to do just because he's playing so well. Um, I I love the trade. I love that. I
Yeah,
love like all like I love that because I think our defense would improve. Our perimeter defending would improve. Our shooting would improve. It's a better trade all around versus Indiana, so I don't have an issue with that. My only issue is I think Walker should be starting though. As much as you're right, you could start those three guys, but I think Walker has at this point like almost
he's earned
embedded
it.
himself in
No,
a
I get
starting
it.
lineup. Like
I
who are you
agree.
gonna put who are you gonna put in front of Walker that's doing what I mean obviously there's some players but that we could get right now that could outproduce Walker at the
I
like you know
would
what I mean?
I would personally bring I'd personally bring Gordon Hayward off the bench because I think he would be huge off the bench. Not just that, but he wouldn't have to have as big of a role. Because my
Sorry, I
concern
think
with
I said Bridges, sorry, Hayward, sorry,
no, you're fine.
position swap, sorry there.
Yeah, yeah.
But
My biggest
I do think Walker could play the 2 or 3 though. So I mean
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
so I would probably do a starting five ideally of Rozier, Walker, Bridges, LeBron, and Davis
Yeah.
would probably be my starting five. Because if you bring Hayward off the bench, it does a couple things. One,
Yeah.
it gives you that guy that you can run your offense through off the
Yeah.
bench. It gives you a guy that does everything, but also it takes a lot of pressure off of him, and he doesn't have to play as many minutes, which is the problem.
Yeah.
Also, my biggest concern with the Hornets deal is if we had to take on Hayward. Like I think Hayward is probably might be one of the best fits in the entire league next to LeBron James and Anthony Davis. He just can't stay healthy, which is the problem. And
Gordon Hayward's
because
a beast. Don't like
he
yeah,
is,
I'm
but he
getting
can't
nothing
he can't
confused.
stay healthy. And as long as and that's my concern. But if you get Bridges, now you have a player that if he does get hurt and misses like a bunch of games, or say he misses the whole season, it's
Yeah.
not as big of a blow because you
Okay.
have Bridges to cover that.
Yeah.
And then you get your scorer in Terry Rozier. So ideally, I would love to go and try to work something out to where you get Bridges. And the one incentive you'd have is,
Yeah.
or the one incentive the short Charlotte would have is that they get to clear all of their salary. So basically, they would have like LaMelo Ball and PJ Washington on their salary, and like that's it. So like
Well,
that's
yeah,
a
and
huge
even
benefit.
if you don't get Victor, which I don't know if they're going to get Victor, but even if you don't get Victor, you still have that, what are you saying, 150 million to go
Yeah, you
ahead
have
and
salary
then
cap.
put strong pieces around those two, because you got like just those two alone, you already, that's a good starting to build off of.
Even if they don't get Victor,
PJ,
there's still
Lamelo.
well, one, you're also embracing the tank because they're terrible. They're like 4-13 or something like that. So you're
Yeah.
embracing the tank. Um,
Which the
and
Warriors, I just like to
and
point out, they're not too far behind that. They're like 6 and
yeah,
12
yeah,
if
but
they have
I mean, the
chances.
Warriors are going to win more games than the Hornets.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
The uh, the only thing is that like with the Hornets being so bad,
Yeah,
like you're taking away all of their good players, and you're saying okay, like go tank. Even if you don't get, you're going to get probably a top 3 pick. So
yeah,
you get one of the Thompson twins. You could get you could end up getting Scoot Henderson, something like that. And regardless, you're going to get like another like franchise piece to add to LaMelo Ball and PJ Washington, and and you cleared all your salary space. So like now you can go and start getting young pieces to put around those guys.
yeah,
Like say they do get Victor Wembanyama, right? Now, what you could do is if you're Charlotte, you could go and like, because now you have Lamelo Ball, you have PJ Washington, Victor Wembanyama. Now you
yeah,
could go and get like, say like Gary Trent Jr. in the
yeah,
offseason and give him the money, and he's still like 23, 24 years old. So you get a young 3-and-D shooting guard that could
yeah,
come in and be and put and would fit right next to everybody beautifully because he could play on the ball or off the ball, and then go get like maybe like a veteran wing type player. Maybe
yeah,
go get somebody that could guard the perimeter. Like that could be really solid. And now you have like a legit starting five that's young enough to grow together. That might be a dynasty. the next, in 3 years.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I mean,
that's
can I be honest?
yeah.
I feel like you put any superstar next to LaMelo with a decent bench and deep to where they can be deep enough, they're probably going to be a like conference finals contender.
They're gonna
Like
be in the
that's
conversation.
well, yeah, no doubt. Like you put like a super, but it has to be a superstar. I'm talking like a KD, Giannis.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah, I don't think
I
you could
just
put like a Kyrie next to LaMelo and also they win a championship. But like it would have to be like a Giannis or put like I said, put like a super like an actual all star superstar champion next to him, and I think they have a legit chance of like making a title run that year.
yeah, I
But again,
like
this is also with a decent bench, like I said, decent supporting
yeah.
cast. Yeah.
I don't think personally, I don't think LaMelo's the best player on a championship team. I
No,
don't.
no, no, no.
We talked
He's
about
not.
this before. Um,
Yeah,
but
I agree with you. He's
I
not.
do agree that like if you get the right the right like one or two pieces, like I think you can contend. Like LaMelo's good enough to where he can make the right impact. The problem is, can he stay healthy? Right? Because like he's the ball family, man, they cannot stay healthy with Lonzo and
Yeah,
now LaMelo. Um, but if they can stay healthy, then I think you have a legit shot. But I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting. Again, like I said in the beginning of all this, I don't personally, if I'm being honest, I don't think they're going to get Bridges. But it'd be nice. But what you might be able to get PJ Washington. Problem is, I wouldn't give up both first for PJ Washington. I'd give up both first for Bridges, but I wouldn't do it for PJ Washington because just Bridges is just the better player, still has more
wait,
potential.
just Bridges or like Bridges in a
No,
package?
I'm saying say the deal was
Oh,
Rozier,
okay,
Hayward,
gotcha.
and Bridges. I wouldn't give up. I
Okay,
would
I
give
was
up
gonna say,
both first.
whoa,
I would give up
yeah,
both first for that, just because you're getting
yeah,
Bridges, who again he's 24 years old. He's already a 20-10 guy basically,
yeah,
and he's only going to get better. He hasn't even reached his prime, and he's just bigger, stronger, more athletic, faster, everything. So I think Bridges could be like a real piece for your future,
yeah,
and then um and then having but PJ Washington, I think he's good, but he's like your fourth. Like I think Bridges could be your like second or third guy on a contending team, where I think
yeah.
PJ is like your fourth, your third or fourth on a contending team, depending on how the other guys
Yeah,
are. So like I would rather, but again, you might be able to get Washington now because the whole reason Washington was originally in trade talks was because they had to pay Bridges. And
yeah,
so because they had to pay Bridges, they couldn't keep they didn't want to keep both of them because they were just so cap heavy. So it was like,
yeah,
oh, let's move off of PJ Washington and kind of try to fix that. Well, now they're back in that position. But I mean,
yeah,
Bridges kind of answered the question for them when he
yeah.
went and did what he did. So it just kind of changed the narrative. But now he's kind of been acquitted. So it's one of those
Be-
things where it's like they got to make a decision.
yeah, because you can't do the Spurs trade and the Charlotte trade just because of Russ is the factor. You
Yeah.
can't get the package
I mean, you
like
could
from.
get pieces. So, like,
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
theoretically,
That's what you could use none. You could use none. Oh, sorry, yeah, you could use none and Beverly to get a few pieces, and it still might work out. Like your team would be super deep
so
because you would
like
still have
theoretically, yeah.
Reeves, Walker, and all those guys. But imagine if you then did the Charlotte deal, got Bridges, but then turned around, use none and Beverly, and go get a few pieces from San Antonio. But I don't know. I don't know because Russ is not in that trade. I don't know if you really get the pieces you want out of that trade.
So, I mean, theoretically speaking, you could you could trade like let's say you could do um let's say you could do Bridges, Hayward, Rozier
Okay.
for Russell Westbrook and one first round pick, right?
Okay. All right.
You have your second first, and you have um,
That's tough
Patrick
though. With just
Beverly.
one, that's tough.
No, I'm just saying hypothetically.
Yeah. No, I got you. I got you.
It's
Yeah.
not if you're going to get Bridges, you're going to have to give up both first. But
Yeah.
let's say theoretically they did that, or let's say you did. Let's say you could do it for PJ Washington and only one
Okay.
first, so you could
Yeah.
get PJ, Hayward, Rozier.
Rozier.
Then
Yeah.
theoretically speaking, again, you could take your other first and Patrick Beverly and Kendrick Nunn and trade them for Josh Richardson and Jakob Pertl. So you could
Okay.
theoretically flip Russell Westbrook, Patrick Beverly, and Kendrick Nunn
And you two
for
first.
and your two first for Josh Richardson, Jakob Poeltl, Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier, and PJ Washington. So you basically
That's a good team right there.
That
and we're
is
back
a
in the
fantastic
conversation.
That team, those guys alone,
on paper though,
those
like,
guys, those
play
guys
styles
alone,
meshing. I don't know, but
yeah, I mean, chemistry and everything is always important. But those guys alone, with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, are probably good enough to win a championship. But you'd still have Walker, you'd still have Reeves, you'd still have.
I know that. Oh my god, that bench would be. That would be fun to watch. Imagine like Reeves coming off the bench with like Walker and like all those guys.
And he'd still have like Schroeder. I mean, it's theoretically speaking. Will it happen? No, probably not. I mean, I never like to say, definitely nothing, but you never know. But real